Paul here from Hill Country Rings, and testing out a new camera and going to try it out on a ring build. This is going to be a ring build using some Lebanon cedar. It's actual cedar wood from Lebanon. I got it from a family member, and I've been making a lot of rings with it. So let's go in and try it out, and I'll just kind of show you the process. Alright, well, here is the ring core I'll be using. It's a size 11. It's a titanium. It's a comfort ring core. It's basically a very comfortable fit. This is going to be for a customer. This is a piece of Lebanon cedar. It was cut from a bigger piece that I received from a family member, and I've been using it to make a lot of rings. As you can see, it's got a lot of the resin kind of left over from the stabilization process. I stabilize them in my vacuum chamber, where I put it in resin, suck all the air out, let it back in, and it kind of injects some of the resin into the wood to stabilize it. Now I'll do maybe a video on that later. Yeah, I work with Lebanon cedar, M1 Durand wood, mesquite, wood from different battleships, just all kinds of wood, even like a MLB baseball bats. So first thing I'm going to do is to kind of get this all this stuff off. I'm going to go ahead and just put it on chuck it over the lathe, and then I'm just going to kind of give myself a flat surface to work on. Alright, good. I have measured the ring core, and it is, with my digital calipers, just validate, and it is 23.18 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and I've chucked up a 23 millimeter bit here, Forstner bit. I'm going to go ahead and bore that hole for the ring core. Go kind of slow so I don't overheat it. I have chucked the wood back up, flipped it over. Now I'm going to smooth it off the back side, just kind of take it off down to get it down to about closer to the thickness of the ring, just a 8 millimeters. Check it. My caliber set at 8 millimeters. Getting close, maybe a little bit more. I'll put a little more. I don't want to get too close. Yeah, that's good. And the rest I can hand sand. I have cleaned the wood blank and the ring blank with denatured alcohol. to get any oils or chemicals or dust off of them. I'm going to use my old friend here, the 5-minute epoxy. I'm going to cement that core into the wood. And just a 2-part epoxy. It's got a little bit of give, so it kind of gives a good bond and a lasting bond rather than using something like crazy glue or anything like that. So just kind of mix it up. Give it a good mix. And again, I apologize for the camera work on this. It's probably terrible. You can see I just kind of use a toothpick and get a good layer of the epoxy cement inside the wood. And then I'll take the ring core and give him a good run over the epoxy, so he's got a good layer on him. And then I try to make sure that I securely glue the entire thing to my fingers and give it a twist as I'm pushing it in. And get it good and level on one side, right on one of my good smooth sides. As you can see, the ring core fits in there really nicely. And so now I'll just let that dry. It takes about, give it about an hour for it to dry, and then we'll go on from there. Let's set it down. We have got the core all nice and epoxied in to the wood. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim around, kind of closer to the core, so whenever I put it on the lathe I don't have to like cut off all this edges, and just kind of make it easier to lay. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off on the bandsaw right now. No, it's not perfect, but whenever I put it in a lathe, that's when I'll do all the shaping. First I'm going to go ahead and do some sanding to get the wood even with the metal. On this side it's very good, and there's maybe some finish sanding there, but I got to sand this down so that the metal be even with the wood. Alright, this is where we do a lot of sanding, so probably the most manual part. The other side just right. So it's getting there. All right, so we have it all nice and sanded. You can see the edges are nice and kind of shiny. And I've also cleaned out the inside with my X-Acto knife, just kind of scraped out any kind of leftover epoxy. Got it nice and sanded on both edges. A little bit more rounded. I did that on the band sander so that whenever I'm putting it on the lathe, it won't catch. So let's go ahead and put it on the lathe and we're going to shape it. Alright, got it on the lathe. I got it on the ring mandrel. It's an expanding mandrel. Basically just put it on there and tighten up a little nut on the end that kind of holds it. It's got it all nice and true, and I'm going to go ahead and shape it. Might not be able to get a good video of this. I'll try to do this on the end. Just about right. I'm just going to do some sanding, and then we'll be good. Away. Some okay. That's looking good. That's looking good. I have put them on the rotisserie. I think my previous attempt at showing this didn't come out too good, but it's a little thing I built to put on the finish, and just kind of slowly turns the ring. I've cleaned them up with denatured alcohol, and then I'm using this finish that is used for like guitars, for fixing guitars and for repairing the finishes, so it gives it a beautiful finish. So I just put it on with a piece of wax paper on the edges and on the sides, and then I'm just going to let it slowly turn and dry, and it should dry in a few minutes. So now it's pretty well dried. Let it dry for a while on the rotisserie, and I'm going to do a little bit of just a little bit of some polishing on the inside. Nice and clean. Okay. And then a little bit of polishing on this, on the wheel. Just a little buffing. A little buff. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright. Already did a little bit of buffing before, but just a little final. And there we go. And that is the finished ring. If you'd like more information, drop me a line at hillcountryrings.com. And if you'd like one made out of Lebanon Cedar, or M1 Garand, or an Major League Baseball bat, or wood from the deck of a battleship, just let me know. Thanks, everybody.